Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dano Crypto. My name is Daniel Curtis Hughes. We're just gonna dive right into it for this video. We are going to just go through a couple of different things here today. So, when someone is getting into crypto for the first time, I think I've been noticing a trend here. So it's either they are buying it on Robinhood or they are buying it on Coinbase. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is exactly where I got my start, was buying it on Robinhood. But then once I started to dive into the different crypto exchanges, which I had no knowledge of at all and how they worked, and still don't, but I'm learning. But basically, it came down to doing my own research and seeing what exchanges are out there, which ones are on mobile devices. I use iPhone, so I mean, whether you're on an iPhone or Android or you're web-based, there's a lot of different options. So basically, with this video, I'm going to go over what I discovered kind of doing this on my own, because I didn't really ask anyone for help. There's maybe just one person who I referred to just when I was really kind of feeling like I was in a jam, and it was a good friend of mine, Ben. He's been in crypto for a while. So is there anything I'm really just kind of feeling shaky on? Usually we'll ask and text him first. And that's a good good advice to remember. If you have a friend that you know has been in crypto in a long time and they're have a good track record, you see that they've made money, or you haven't heard that they've lost millions of dollars or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if they have some sound advice, I would just refer to them before you start to really make moves and go about it on your own. Just refer to someone. So that's what I did, and I got tipped off on Gemini, and what was the other one that my friend told me about? I think the one that I specifically remember that he said he was using was Gemini. So I was like, okay, I'll check that out. And in searching for Gemini, which you can actually use on the web browser, and you can actually use it on the phone as well, I discovered different exchanges that actually fit a little bit better for my use case. So what I ended up discovering was Voyager, which is and has been probably my go-to crypto trading platform due to the use case of it. It's very, very functional. For someone who's new to the space like me, this was the perfect app to navigate. The way that it sets up the spreads is really nice. It was really easy for me to understand. Someone who is just getting into crypto for the first time, and honestly just looking at charts from any type of like stock or crypto, looking at a chart and looking at all of these numbers and bid prices and ask price, your average cost, and I mean, some of this is pretty. Some of it is common sense to an extent, but a lot of the times when people see a lot of numbers, they get nervous. And I think that's a lot of the times what sway people away from starting and doing something like this, because they're like, okay, I'm looking at this screen, I see these numbers, these graphs, and all this stuff. I do not understand it. And it's not necessarily that you have to understand it all, but you can understand a base concept of you're buying something at a price, you are while you're buying something, you have to have people selling it at the same time, obviously. So, I mean, that's for how markets move, you have to have a buyer and you have to have a seller. So, and then there's all these different mechanics that go into that I'm not smart enough right now to, in that field to fully explain it. I know enough to feel confident to start doing it. So I think that is a good place to start, because if you go about investing and trying to build your money with, I don't understand this enough, and so I'm not going to do it, that is putting a huge roadblock in your path of actually doing something. You have to start somewhere. And you saying that I don't understand crypto enough, so I'm not gonna start investing into it, could be the difference between you making life-changing wealth. Yeah, I don't know. That's just like, yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna stop right there. So you don't have to completely understand this stuff to just jump in. So I would start personally with Voyager first, learning how to set up and link your bank accounts to the platform. Go through all the processes of having to identify yourself. You're going to have to go through a process like you normally would with a bank. You know, you got to give them your ID. You have to have an identification. You know, you're going to have to take a selfie. There's some things that you're going to have to do with most of these platforms that are pretty similar. So just kind of get used to that process. And sometimes, depending on the hype and depending on the traffic of how many people are signing up, it could be waitlisted. Right now, I think it seems pretty good. But at the time, I signed up for Voyager in January of this year. And just like a month after that, it was like crazy traffic started to come in, and the app was like, people were on a wait list to even start trading at all. So I actually got in right before the hype of like peak FOMO of people getting into crypto, basically when Bitcoin, I think, was like, it was like at the all-time high of 50,000, which, yeah, let's go to coin market cap really quick here, and we can go to Bitcoin and look at where that was. So we go back, go to the year, and we go to January. Let's see, January. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, no, sorry, I was saying 50,000. So it was, yeah, 40,000 was where we had that that all-time high of the beginning of the year. And that's kind of what propelled me to really start to trust it a little bit more and really get into it. It was about right there. And then all of these different points right here, I've bought and sold, and but there's something interesting that I've been learning about Bitcoin is that, since Bitcoin is basically, it is the first crypto, the first popular crypto of its kind and of its use case and type of programming and the way that it's designed. It's one of a kind. It's the only thing. It is its own thing. There's nothing that runs like Bitcoin. That's what makes it so unique. So whatever Bitcoin does, everything for the most part kind of follows it. So it's kind of like a trend of Bitcoin. When there's Bitcoin dominance, is what I've heard a lot, is there's Ethereum dominance over Bitcoin dominance, comparing the two between how much flow and cash and use is being fled through those networks. And depending on which one has more dominance, different cryptocurrencies in the market are going to move with that. So when Bitcoin is doing great, there's a lot of altcoins that are going to do great as well, because a lot of the profits from Bitcoin spill into other things, and that's kind of what I ended up doing naturally. I would be up, have some profit on Bitcoin and some other things, and specifically Ethereum. I would take a lot of that profit and just reinvest it into other projects. A lot of the profit that I've taken, I haven't spent it. I've just reinvested, and that's the best way that you can build your portfolio. You're still putting it at risk, obviously invested into something, a speculative asset, but it's your best chance to just keep growing your money. If you're gonna cash it out and put it in your bank account, you're gonna spend it. So but it's all depends on what your goal is. Obviously, that's we talked about that. What is your plan? What's your goal? What do you want to do, and what do you want to use your cryptocurrencies for? And I mean, you can use it for anything. So, I right now I'm trying to build it, but at points I have taken it out and have made it liquid. And this is where we're gonna make a segue. So having your crypto be liquid is the whole point of cryptocurrency. It's more liquid than what traditional markets are. And the way that you do that is actually pretty specific, and there's certain ways that you want to, what they would call off and onloading your crypto. So off and onloading your crypto requires you to use stable coins. And a stable coin is something like this. Stablecoin is something like Tether, USDC. We got BUSD, which is the Binance Smart Chain stablecoin. That is actually one that I've been using frequently to off and onload onto crypto.com. This is another exchange and crypto wallet combination that I actually signed up for at the exact same time that I did Voyager. This platform has already implemented a debit card system and rollout for implementing transferring and topping up, which means putting fiat funds, USD, from your bank onto your card, and also being able to top it up with your crypto. So say you buy crypto, you have profits, you can take those profits, put it into a stable coin, and their conversion, the way they do it, they like to use USDC as a standard, and that is the stable coin that is issued by Coinbase, and that is on multiple different networks. So it's mainly an ERC20 token, this USDC. So when you're dealing with USDC, you're going to be prepared. You're going to pay high gas fees at the moment for using USDC. So just keep that in mind. So what I've been doing, I'm not transferring the USDC. I'm basically converting any of whatever my profit or whatever I'm transferring into my crypto.com and using the USDC on the debit card. So crypto.com has a pretty cool system of debit cards where you can get, you can have multiple different levels. I think it's like blue, sapphire, red, ruby, and you, by having a certain amount of their token, which is the CRO token, you can get rewards back for trading. You get crypto cashback rewards for when you buy stuff with the debit card. So I've already been testing that out, and it took me a while to actually really start to implement and use the debit card. And you think about it just like a regular cashback card, like a credit card that gives you rewards, but you're getting rewarded back with a cryptocurrency that is going, that is building value and going either up and down in price. So it's really cool to be able to get cash back in any type of crypto. You can do whatever you want with that. You can stake it. So if you hold a certain amount of their CRO token, you can get, stacked rewards. And all these different crypto exchanges have different reward platforms and different ways that you can earn. And a lot of them, when you're holding certain cryptocurrencies, you get interest. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use these platforms to build and use them as like high yielding savings accounts that also have a debit card. So it's basically like having your own personal bank that you are essentially guiding and directing the way that you want to use your funds and what you want to buy. And that's the whole point of crypto.